Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, Shir sponsor Nishmas I'm back for Shalom Leah Sitzchok. We're holding Bo Metzia Daf Nun Zayin. We're starting in Amud Aleph, 3 lines to the top. Omer Omar Avchaso, Boyer of Ami, Oyno Ein Lem, Bitul Mekach Yesh Lem, or Ein Lem. So we learned in the Mishnah there's a few items that don't have Oyno. For example, Karkoes, Avodim, and Shtaris and Hegdeshus. So says the Gemara now, do we say that they don't have anything, meaning a person made a mistake, whether you know or purposely, he undercharged or overcharged, we say it will never be changed, or only regarding the halachas of Oyno, which is a shtus, right? Shtus, a 6, up to a 6, and the 6, that they don't have. But the minute you get to Bitul Mekach, Bitul Mekach means which is more than a shtus, so then, do they have the halachas about Yosem Shtus or not? Says the Gemara. So Yesh Lem Oim Lem. Omer Nachman Hodor Am Avchaso Posher of Ami. Ami said, "We know Ein Lem, but Bitul Mekach Yesh Lem. They do have Bitul Mekach. Bitul Mekach means that you overcharged more than a 6. That means that the Mekach is completely bottle, and that's how they even Hegdish and Karkaris and Shtaris and Avodim have." Says the Gemara. B'yoyno Ha'igdeshus. Meaning, the following sentence will be mentioned. The machlokes is to talk about hekdesh or about karka. But Tavar Mishvei Davir both said name Rabbi Yochanan Amru. Or you know him then bitul mekach yesh them. You don't really know, but they do have a bitul mekach. So they don't have they have bitul mekach. Mando Magdish, the one who says that we talk about hekdesh, kosher karka kars. If by hekdesh you say it's kosher by karka. Other thing has no, Bitul Mekach is already something that even the items that do not fall under the category of they do have that din of Bitul Mekach. Mando Mekach is Aval Hegdesh Loi. But once there's a karka by Hegdesh that we don't say even Bitul Mekach. Why not? Kiddush Shmuel. Torah Shmuel said Hegdesh Shovei Monesh Shechilo Shovei Pruto Mechol. By Hegdesh, even if you take something which costs much more, costs 100, and you're mevatel on something very small on a pruto. There is a pidyon, even though it's not the right value. By hegdesh, I don't have the claim of bringing the right value. According to Shmuel, obviously you should. You should try to get the right value, but if you didn't, there's no tightness over here. The Tais brings you the sword, and Rashi also, but Rashi, it takes more in length. That the idea there's no owner over here to come in taina, and that applies to over here as well. According to Shmuel, if I'm a vatel, if I'm a poite, a hegdish, for much less than its value, then does work. So therefore, there's no din in Bitul Mekach. The Gemara continues this story. It says the Mishnah, Imaya koidish ba'almum yotzol cherus. If there is a hegdish, which is a ba'almum, and you need to redeem it, so if you redeem it, you make it chulin, you have to make sure to pay its right value. What does it mean? It's already yatzol l'chulin. But midirabanan, you have to make sure to pay the right amount. So even though midiraisa, you don't really have to pay. But if it's midirabanan, Rabbanan say you have to make sure you pay the full value. Shlokish says no, you have to pay the full value when you redeem hegdish. What we're talking about? We talk about the amount of Oyno. Rish Lakish will say that you do have to pay even when it's within a 6. We have a fair Mishnah, our Mishnah, that says like a Korsa Vodim Shtars like this. There's no Oyno Bagish. At least it means a 6. Ela Bitul Mekach. I talk about Bitul Mekach meaning more than a 6. Here, Rabbi Yochanan will say that midirabanan you have to pay the difference. Right? But we just quoted before. Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yirmiyah quoted the name of Rabbi Yochanan. One said it only a karka, one said it on hektish. So if you do a bitul mekach, you do have this idea of bitul mekach. So we mele why is Rabbi Yochanan telling me over here that you don't have bitul mekach? Answers the Gemara, Lo Ilom Bitul Mekach. It is Bitul Mekach. They put Rabbi Yochanan Shlokish to Shlokish Rabbi Yochanan. You have to turn it around. Rabbi Yochanan, at least, as Rashi points out, At least according to Van Domer, the quoted Rabbi Yochanan regarding Hegdish. The Van Domer, the quoted Rabbi Yochanan regarding Karka, there's no question. That's only Karka, not Hegdish. But the Van Domer, the quoted Rabbi Yochanan regarding Hegdish, and said that by Hegdish you have a bitul mekach, meaning that even by Hegdish, if it's more than a 6, so then it does apply that concept of bitul mekach. So if so, you can't say Rabbi Yochanan says otherwise. So you have to say it's a machlekes Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish, and you turn it around. Rabbi Yochanan is the one who says the bitul mekach yeshle, and therefore he says that you have to make midoraisa, so you have to pay the difference. Rish Lakish says you don't really have bitul mekach midoraisa, but midoraisa you have to pay it. Says the going Micah, what's the machlekes? But the Shmuel, the Homa Shmuel, Hegdish Shove Monish Shechilo Shove Pruto. We just mentioned before Shmuel. If you're going Michal something which is worth a lot for a little, Michal, my said the Shmuel, one knows like Shmuel that it works, even if it's much less. Umay said the Shmuel. That's one explanation. Ibai Sema, another explanation. The Kulam may saw the Shmuel, but he agrees with Shmuel. Welcome back, here's the machlekes. Ma'asov Shechilo in Lechatchila Loi, Ma'asov in Lechatchila. Yeah, if you did it, you did it. But Lechatchila, you should have in mind that you're going in and doing a different money. Tosfos points out the way he explains it based on another Gemara that Lechatchila doesn't mean, when we're talking Lechatchila, not Lechatchila, doesn't mean the person intentionally is coming to deceive Hektish. That's also. But we're talking about here is a person is intending to redeem Shaveh b'Shaveh. He has Hektish worth 100, he wants to give it for 100. He realizes afterwards what he did, it was much less than 100, it was only 50. So here the question is, do you have a din to go and fix it or not? Do you say, there, just leave it alone? Or you say, Lechatchila, you have to do it. That's a machlekes. Ibai Seimo, lo michdoino. It is a k'doino. Not bitul mekach. Hi, bichdoino, we have a fair shamishta that says there's no behedish. Veloy tepoch. Don't turn around and Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. Why? Because Rabbi Yochanan said clearly that there's no behedish, is only bitul mekach. That's what we quote Rabbi Yochanan for. So what they're arguing, there's no no at all, meaning there's no dini or no by hektish. Regarding what? Says they're going to from Zion with base. The by hektish, even if it's less than I know, you could change your mind. Meaning, when do I have the dino I know is only with your friend? So there you say, people make a mistake, less than the shtos is fine, shtos is, you have the choice. That's what you have these halachas. But by hektish, nobody was ever moichel anything. You don't say mistakes. By hektish, even less than shtos, you have to give back the money. So therefore, what? So that's Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish said, we're talking about not bitul mekach. We're talking about oino. And here's the machlekes. Rabbi Yochanan says, midoraisa, you don't have to give back the money. But Rabbanan said to give back the money. Rish Lakish says, midoraisa, you have to give back the money. Why? Because there's no oino behektish, meaning that you have to pay even less than oino. Says the Gemara, Metzia, who brings a question. Ribis v'oinor lehedrit. Vein ribis v'oinor lehektish. It says there is a ribis behedrit, but I behektish. So clearly, what are you saying? Clearly, there is ribis but there's no behektish. So I don't understand the question. Isn't this worse than the Mishnah? Do kamino b'toyurasana? I mean, not oinor, toyurasana, meaning not oinor itself. But we're talking about that doesn't have the halachas of oinor. Hachadami ribis v'dinor nor lehedrit vein ribis v'dinor nor lehektish. Meaning there is halachas of ribis by hedrit, and there's a dinner nor of 6 by hedrit, and by hektish you don't have ribis and you don't have nor. Now according to this, the Gemara is going to address right away. Well, when we say there's no ribis by hektish, that really means that there's no ribis. We'll say later. There's no dinner ribis by hektish, but there's no isur ribis by hektish. The Gemara is going to explain in a moment what exactly is the case of the ribis. But there's no Isser ribis fetish. By the head you have an Isser. But you know, what they're going to say right now is the opposite. You're saying there is a din by head that you don't pay back. But head is no din you cannot take even less than a 6. So you're more machmer in Egdish. So I have to go address it right away. Well, look at the next part. Look how Hedjud is more chomer than Egdish. And what way Hedjud is more chomer than Egdish? But you're saying other Rabbi Hektish is more chomer, that you mevatel even less than a 6. So more ribis. No, we're talking about ribis. Ligni nami is a chomer beHektish or beHedrit. So why didn't you say that there's more chomer Hektish than Hedrit? There's two. Hedrit is more chomer than Hektish by ribis, but Hektish is more chomer than Hedrit by Yoina. By Yoina. So ma'achiyashna. There is a chomer beHedrit beHektish. The two loy. I understand. Hektish in generally is not more chomer than Hektish. Usually I'm more machir beHektish, but here you have a chiddush. Ribbis is different. You're not allowed to do ribbis by hegdish, but you're allowed to do by hegdish. You're more machmir by hegdish. Ela hegdish is a choymer v'tuloi, meaning choymer by hegdish. That's the only example you have. The way Tosis says, Tosis takes away the word v'tuloi, because there are things that hegdish is more choymer than hegdish, like we saw in the Mishnah, right? Din shomer, shvuah. There are things that hegdish is more choymer than hegdish. There are things, but although there are things that hegdish is more choymer than hegdish, although that's true. But still, I'm trying to point out the example. You want to tell me here is one of the examples where hegdish is more chomer. Ribbis. It's a unique thing. Hegdish is more chomer than hegdish. That's the more common thing, the more established thing. Says the more now here. Ribbis the hegdish yechidam. What's the case of ribbis of the hegdish? What exactly happened? The gizbar, the one who's in charge of it for hegdish, took money of hegdish and lent it to somebody and says, "Here's 100. Give me back 120." So you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to take money of hegdish and use it. So the minute you're taking money of hegdish and using it, it's a me'ilah, and you have to exchange it. The mois go to chulin. The avil of the hegdish belongs to hegdish. There's no ribbis. It's not a ribbis of hegdish. So the more Moshayach by asking gon shekibel olov lesapek slotos me'arbo da'undu mishosh. He did a deal with hegdish. He is going to provide the flour to hegdish, and he's going to provide 4. What does it mean 4? 4 means he will give 4 measurements for the amount. But then it became much more expensive, and now instead of being 4, it's only 3. It's 3, meaning for the same amount of money you get 3. Look, Rashi used to say the case. Rashi says we're talking about. But he gave 4. The way the payment was, you do 4 sale and 1 seller. For hoikru became more expensive. Now, for the same amount you get only 3. So if he continues to give 4, it's a little bit ribbis, because let's say the 4 used to be a seller. Now you have to pay a seller and a third for 4. So you're giving to the person more than what he deserves. So a regular person, that would be ribbis. By hegdish, it's not. And that's what it is. He accepted to do 4, and then the same amount of money only buys 3. He still has to give 4. He accepted to do whatever is 3, now it becomes to be 4. He still will give the 4. In other words, if it went down in value, you give what originally. If it went up in value, it went down in value, you continue to give what you originally gave. And if it went up in value, you have to give your original commitment by hegdish. That's something by hegdish you can't do. That's something that you have only by hegdish. Tosis here has a discussion. Tosis says, how was the schayvus? What did he do? What did he give? What did they give? They give him money? Does he have the flour in his house? So then it works also by hegdish. Doesn't have flour in the house. How did he accept it something as chayvus? And Tosis goes on to say that even by hegdish, there's a certain level of ribbis that we don't allow. So here he goes to say that there was already a shar, there was a amount that you sell for, but it changed. And that goes to the discussion, which we'll get more into when we get to Ezu Neshech. Says the Gemara, we're talking about here that you have the bricks of the building that are given to the gizbar to take care of. Now what is it? Well, how does that help? Meaning, the bricks of the building need to go into Beis Hamikdash. You don't make it Kaddish until you put it into the building. What is the reason? It says Rashi, we don't want people by mistake to misuse it. So you have these bricks that belong to Hegdish, but they don't become Hegdish yet. So they're still not Hegdish, and then you can go and you build them, and then you give it the Kedusha of Hegdish. So therefore what? Therefore, because that is the ownership of Hegdish, that's why Rib is shaykh there. When a person gives it to somebody else, they don't have a problem of ribis, because it's not considered to be me'ilah, because it doesn't have the kedusha yet. Right? And be me'ilah, but still you have it belongs to Hegdish, and Hegdish is the one who's the beneficiary of that, and that's why I talk about the ribis. There's no ribis by Hegdish. Says the Gemara, they made the Shlumei Kefil, talking about that these items that we mentioned in the Mishnah, Karka, Avodim, Megdeshus, they don't have a double when someone steals. You know what I mean? We know that the Gemara now is going to go through the drushas of the psukim to teach you how these things don't have the inyan that we have in the Mishnah. You know what I mean? We know that Torah Rabbanan. Akol dvar pesha klal. We're going to learn the pasuk. It's akol dvar pesha al shor al chamor al sey al sama al kol aveda. Right? So now we're talking about regarding the asher yomai kilzeh. Then from there you learn the psukim regarding the inyan that we're talking in the Mishnah. It's called dvar pesha klal al shor al chamor al sey al sama. This reminds us of what we learned Bava Kamo. You have the details: an ox, a donkey, a sheep, a clothing. Akol aveda asher yoimar, any aveda that's klal. Chazar v'kal, kol protocol iyat adan el kere prat. You learn like the prat. Right? Whenever you have, that's the one of the midrash shatorim drushes behem. A rule, a detail, a rule. You learn like the detail. Ma'aper first door metal to the gufa mamoin. The prat is something which is movable and itself has a worth of money. Akol door metal to the gufa mamoin. Everything else that you have in this case will be the same thing. Yatzuk koyes sheino metaltim. So we're talking about a karka that does not, it doesn't move. Take away slaves that are hekesh to karka. Stars do move in gufa more than that moment itself. Says re'eyu, not English. And this talks about a ganov and toyin tanes ganov. So here you learn the idea of kefil. You don't have kefil in all these cases. You don't have 4 and 5. Why? So this goes back to what we're learning about Bava. What is 4 and 5? 4 and 5 means when a person steals, he has to pay back double. If he stole an animal and he shechted it, let's say he took a sheep, he has to pay an additional 2, and it becomes 4. So the first 2 are the kefil, and the next 2 become the 4. If you don't have kefil, so you don't pay the extra 2, because you never have 3 and 4. You have 4 and 5. You have 2 plus 3 or 2 plus 2. Here you don't have the second, you don't have the 2, as we learned in the previous pasuk, so you don't have the extra 2 or the extra 3. This first pash of Shemim speaks about Shemim. Someone gives his friend something to guard. Klal. You give to Reu. Kesef or Kalim. Give him money or vessel. Prat. Argues as a Guna Beisaish. That's a klal. The girso that we have here on the side is that lishmar. You give them to lishmar, to guard. That's a klal. Chazav a klal, the kolal. So you have a rule, a detail, a rule. Klal prat klal yetal dan kel ken prat. You learn like the detail. Ma'aber first do metal to go moment. Similar idea that we said before. Something which is movable and in itself has the value of money. I've called the metal to go moment. So everything else will be the same. Yotzu kakoy shei metal. Take away land which is not movable. Yotzu avod mishuk kakoyes that they are like karka. They have hekesh to karka. Yotzu shtar shabish metal in go moment. Shtar is not moment itself. It's only a document. Hegdeshus or makro. Why we know hegdeshus? Re'eyu v'losh hegdesh. Talk about re'eyu. Talk about a friend and not hegdesh. Says the boy now, there's no din shor mesacher. Minani middle to Rabbanan. Now bring the psukim of shor mesacher. Kiten sharei klal. He gives it to guard. Yishreu chamor or shor or say a donkey, an ox, a sheep. Prat detail. The whole beim lishwar. All is going to be a klal again. Chazar kolol. Klal prat to sorry. The chamor shor say klal b'chol beimo. That's prat. B'chol beimo lishwar. The headgish is on the word lishwar. Then you have the other klal. Chazar kolol. You learn like the same drasha I had before. Now, upon the first door metal of Guba moment, something which is movable in itself has a value of money, it has money itself. Called the metal of Guba moment, so everything else is the same. You exclude land, doesn't move. Which is mukish karka. Shtaris take away shtaris documents. Even though they are movable, in Gufa moment. They're not moment itself, they're just a document, represent other money, they're not money themselves. Hegdeshos, Amakra, Re'eyu Velosh Hegdesh. So here again, the Re'eyu, so really the drasha of Gnevo, Shemechinam, Shemesachar are a similar idea, and they teach us to exclude the Karka and Shtaris, Avodim, and Hegdeshos. Really, the first 3 come together, and the 4th one, Hegdeshos, comes with the drasha of Re'eyu. And just to mention, that Tosis points out over here, brings different rayas, that these drashas are not a real drasha, because when you look throughout Shas, you found other drashas that teach you the same thing. So this is only a smachta be'alma. This is not the ikar drasha. We learn from these psukim other things. We're just bringing here a smachta be'alma, a source in the Torah, to tell me these ideas, that maybe we have other sources to it, but this is how the Gemara brings here. As many times throughout Shas, we find the Gemara brings the easy pasuk to teach me a limud, even though there's a really different drasha. Very good. We'll stop over here. Continue Beis Hashem in the next daf.